Hey, it's Lily back again with another video. Today's video is why people are upset that you cut them off or that you cut access from you. And I actually dealt this problem for so many times in my life. Honestly, I cannot get it down sometimes. And I gotta say, my cutoff game is quite good now. It's really strong. And a lot of people are gonna be upset when you want to cut them off. And here's why. I think people who are very magnetic, or people who have really great things to offer, or maybe you're a stellar person, maybe you're really, really nice and you actually stick up and stay around for the bullshit. You're really honest. Maybe you might be a loyal person, whatever characteristics you want to insert here. A lot of people see that and they know that you are a good person and they take advantage of that.
So I also wanted to let you guys know, if you don't think you're magnetic, you're probably not. People who are magnetic actually know they're magnetic, and they actually know what it's like to be magnetic and discover when they are magnetic. But if you're also still experiencing people coming in your life trying to get something from you or to do something from you, it's because people see you as an easy victim. They see you as a target and someone that they will be able to assess something or get something from someone. To be honest, there was a study actually happened where there was predators who were in jail for predatory crimes and all types, right? And they actually went into an exam or a test where they were in a cubicle and they were to inspect 5 gals the way they walk and decide which one they would prey on. The one they all picked was the girl who they were all women, the lady who had the most trauma and had past experience from abuse, previous trauma from their life. So predators are already instinctively are ingrained through their body who to prey on. They can smell people from afar who would be the most vulnerable and easier to target, and they know the right prey to go for. Just like all animals and every single in the human biology know what kind of prey they would like to go for. Those who are receptive and easy to control and had previous trauma from past places, or just a weaker genetic link from their past experience or through their trauma. So what I just tell a lot of people is that you actually carry your trauma on you, and people don't know that. And so if you don't actually work on yourself to undo that trauma, you'll always be receptive of people or things or experiences that hurt you and keep you unsafe.
To be honest, a lot of people want people that they can step on to feel better for themselves. And I dealt with this too, being a very magnetic person who always attracted a lot of people from my personality, from the groups I'm in, from the status I live in, whatever. I've always had people come in and try to talk to me. Either men, women, doesn't matter. And recently I just get sick of them. Like, I get sick of them having to be around, take things like my energy, my time, my effort. Sometimes not even a simple thank you bothered me at times for them to be around. But a lot of people want to come to you because you have something to offer that is benefiting them, and they don't have to offer anything back to you, TBH. They see you as someone that they can step over and that you don't have any boundaries established. And I've learned that boundaries are really important when it comes to the dynamic for any kind of relationship or you have with people. If people see that you don't have any boundaries and someone can easily come back and just you forgive them for all the things, they have no reason why they should apologize or respect you or treat you like a decent human being, right? I know it's kind of really shitty, but most people don't want to be responsible and they don't want to be a good person. And I'm just going to be honest, most people don't want to be good people. And they liked the idea of having good people around them, but if it's no cost to them. And people who are very kind and nice and generous like us, also need to understand that we can't be kind and generous to everyone all the time for any cost, because it costs us our self-esteem, our worth of who we are. And I've learned different tactics of how to stop people being part of my circles when I absolutely don't need them. And most of the time is either standing up for myself or establishing energetic boundaries. And so standing up is pretty obvious. It's just tell them like to back off and to leave. Like, I know that probably the hardest part for a lot of people is to start speaking up for themselves and saying no. But I guarantee you, after you start saying no, the easier it gets. And I wish I could make a whole video why no is one of my favorite words and the most empowering words, and then how yes is also a really empowering word for a lot of people. But this other part is that I'm only with people who are hell yes, and or I'm either hell no. Like, there's no in between. And I read this from a book, and I don't know who said this, what book, but like, if you're not a hell yes to someone, there's no reason for them to be around, TBH. And if there's a hell no, give rid of them. Like, there's no blur in between. For me, that's how I kind of help me keep established to people. A lot of people think they need to be connected to everyone, have friends with everyone, be nice to everyone, see everyone. You don't. You really don't. You need to just have really curated people who support you and love you at the stage you're in. And I guarantee you, like, I also had a video how the higher or more changes you have in your life, the more changes you're going to have in your friends and the dynamic in your relationships. There's going to be very few loyal ones who stay around from the beginning of day one. You might have someone who is with you right now, and then the next month you change and they don't go with you. Like, or you might know someone for 7, 20 years, I don't know, and suddenly you change, you upgraded your life, and they're not there. Sometimes you have met someone for a month, and you upgraded, and they're right next to you. Like, literally. You probably meet people where you upgrade, you're the vice versa, where they upgrade, and then you upgrade as well at the same time, and now you're still a match. Well, TBH, people are a match through, attraction or vibration, whatever people say. Like, you are what you attract, right? So people are always going to come in and come out. And if you haven't figured that out in your life, then let me just tell you, people are always going to drop and people are going to stay and they're going to go. But one thing that won't ever change is yourself. Like, maybe you will change, right? You will change, but like, what I'm trying to say is, like, in your heart and your soul won't fully always change. So what you need to worry is about creating stability with yourself, creating assurance, safety within yourself, because everywhere else, your time, your zone, the people you're in, your experience, your profession, it's going to change. And the day that you change, everyone else changes. And if you stay the same, no one else will change around you. But I've learned ways to keep myself safe and secure, even things are changing. And I'm the kind of person that I literally change so quickly. Like, one day, 1 week ago or 1 day ago, I'm doing something and I'm doing something else the next week. People constantly are always seeing what I'm up to because I'm always doing something different. And that's just the nature of a person who's very ambitious and very creative and always want to improve their life. Like, you're constantly changing. Like, you're not the same as you were yesterday. And so accept the fact that people are going to come in and out. And especially if you want better for your life, that most people don't want you to upgrade. They don't want you to move on and get better with your life. They want you to stay with them so then they can give them excuse why they're like that. Most people don't also want to put into work to get better, TBH. And then when they see you doing really well, they get upset about it. Some people actually benefit you being lower than them and having you on the side while they go find something different or something better. TBH, a lot of people also don't want to be accountable for their toxic actions either, especially when you start calling them out. And I know a lot of people always talk about maybe narcissists or like, I don't know. I honestly don't think most people are narcissists, TBH. Everyone has a level of narcissism, TBH. People don't know that. But a lot of people just don't want to be accountable. They don't want to look within themselves and say they're the problem. To be honest, if you allow people to step over you and to do terrible things to them and you don't say anything about it, it's your fault. I'm just going to be really clear and honest because I was in the same position. I had people come in my life, having them come and go whenever they feel like it, ruin my outlook of life and how I felt about myself just because I say yes, they can come back. TBH, that's my fucking fault. And I've learned that those people, if you let them back in, they feel in a sense of entitlement. They feel like suddenly when you don't want them around, they get pissed because they were benefiting all along of you being lower than them, or now they have to kind of like look at themselves in the mirror and actually say that they're the problem. TBH, I've also, when I started cutting off toxic people in my life, it was really hard. A lot of times they'll backlash at me, telling me how terrible I am as a person, or maybe they will say mean things to me, or they try to come back again and beg for forgiveness. And honestly, you just got to be really stirred with that shit. You have to be really good you have to be really certain with your decision and like stand up. Most of the time, honestly, like you just gotta disappear. You just gotta step back and go. It's really hard, but the more you get better at going cold turkey and cutting people off, the less it actually hurts. And some of us who are very sensitive and emotional people who love people deeply, it's really hard. It's really hard cutting people off when you know that you care about them and they need help more than you do. Sometimes you see people who are suffering and you want to help them, but you know if you do, it would cost you a lot. And then this is this world where most people have to help themselves. And when you do, I also changed my perspective of how helping means to people. And most of the time, if you help someone to help themselves, it's probably the best way for them to get rescued. I actually read this book called The Science of Getting Rich, in one part of the chapter saying that, like just one or two sentences, it said that the poor or the homeless doesn't need charity. They need inspiration. And sometimes a lot of people who are constantly coming in people's life, leeching off of them, being toxic, or just creating unnecessary stress for other people, they need someone to inspire them to get their shit together. And sometimes it's really sad. You might actually be the catalyst of their change in their life. And some people actually have to go to really, really dark, deep, like down the hole, only for them to understand. Or have people just tell people who actually really care about them to fuck off or just change. And it's really sad how that happens. And I wish people learn quicker, right? But we can't control how people learn. But the only thing you can control is yourself and how you protect yourself, you care for yourself, how you emotionally stay stable throughout this life. Because at the end of the day, you're going to pay for all your suffering because you're the only one responsible for yourself. And so back in the day, I used to be like, woe is me. I would always blame this person or the weather or like the economics, stuff like that. But to be you're never going to go anywhere with that. It's always going to be that way until you change yourself. And I've been constantly looking at all the problems in my life that happen. And at the end of the day, all the problems happening in my life, the common denominator was me. Until I decided to change myself, all these problems went away. Literally, very quickly. Now I don't even have much problems in my life, TBH. Probably the most problem I had this morning is that it was really, really cold in the morning. So like I honestly, the problems that I thought they were problems are not freaking problems anymore. Like they're not a big deal. And most of the things that you think they're problems are not really problems. And this is all psychological in our mind. I might make another video about that, how most of your problems are made up in your head. But anyways, I really wanted to share this video and hope people really understand how cutting people off on your life so you can get better for yourself is only helping them as well. And maybe you might be the catalyst to their change. And you might not be, but it does not matter, because at the end of the day, you only have this one life. And if a relationship or things or practices or whatever it is taking too much energy or the joy out of your life, like you do not have time for that. You do not have time for that. Don't be the person who stayed in places for too long. And then when things go down the drain, you kind of were like, I should have left a long time ago. I should have cut this off a while ago. I should have changed when I had this situation happen. Or like, I wasted so much time. I could have done this earlier. Don't be that person. Learn very quickly, change and shift so you can have better for your life. The faster you shift, the faster you change and realize things that are not suitable for you and not aligned to your goals, the better your life will be. And I guarantee you there's just so much more things and opportunities in life and people that will come around to fulfill your life. And if they're not it, they're just not it. You gotta let go, girl. You gotta let it go and build your life the way that you want it to. And I know it's harder than me saying it and then actually doing it, but I guarantee you this is really strange. But you're going to have a lot more of those situations. You think you cut off one person and you're done with it. God and just the world tests you again. They will bring you the same person. They'll bring you the same problem, but a different person. They'll probably bring you the same person, different problem. I guarantee you they will recycle again just to test you to see if you've done it right. And I've done this before. Trust me, when I begin to notice that, I started to get the same problem over and over, and it's a different person. And I was like, this is so freaking ironic, right? It's because you haven't learned your lesson. And when you do learn your lesson, you realize that shit does not show up. And then sometimes if you notice your patterns really quickly, you're saying, oh, I see that shit and not going to happen. And you just cut that shit off. It never comes back again. I guarantee you, and then you might come up with other stuff in life, but I guarantee you life is repetitive. It's a cycle. So you're going to see the same problem or people over and over. They might be named, one person might be named Tom, the other person might be named Abigail, but they are the same shit. They're the same problem. You're not going to avoid that. You're not going to fully complete that problem until you have learned from it. So learn quickly and get yourself together. And this is just a message from me. I'm talking way too much. I got to go to the gym. But I'll see you guys next time. Until next time, bye.